my friends, and welcome to this podcast about all of my woolly makings about the fiber arts. And yes, we have almost arrived at Christmas. If you celebrate Christmas, I wish you a very happy holiday season. And also, if you celebrate another holiday, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, I am also wishing you the very best. And I'm going to show you my mug this time, the one with the star on top. I told you about that I have a stack of these. It's 3, and of course now I had to choose the one with the star. For my coffee today, I am wearing my not ugly at all Christmas sweater because everybody needs a Christmas sweater, right? But I just couldn't make myself get an ugly one. So this is kitschy, but not ugly at all. And no, I did not make it, in case you wonder. Am I crazy with all of these beads? Heck no. Yes, where to start? I have so much to talk about today. There's a lot going on. There's this big thing on the Instagram, in the Instagram knitting community that I want to tell you about. I'm going to start right off with that because that's kind of like obsessively on my mind these days. And it's the knit along that my friend Marcus is hosting. Find him there on Instagram. And even though he posts in German, of course, you can have this translated. And yes, starting January 1st, in the next year until the end of April. Yes, we will do it. We will tackle those UFOs and turn them in January, maybe, or a little bit later, into SFOs, soon finished objects. Yes, deadline end of April, and I am so excited about this. I think it's going to be a really fun one, and I am going to donate for the US participants. I'm going to donate a skein of yarn, one of my Zia Wools yarns. I haven't decided which one. Let it be a surprise. And Marcus is going to give away something in Germany or Europe as well, and it's going to be so much fun. It's actually not just a knit along, but a make along. So any kind of fiber craft is allowed, and I am thinking I will show you what I'm thinking about working on in a separate episode. Depends a little bit, maybe some that are today making an appearance as a work in progress, they also count as the same time as a UFO because they should have been done a long time ago, but we'll talk about that later. Yes, where to start? I'm having it all right in front of me, which is really nice. And I'm going to work my way from the left to the right. Hold on. Okay, and I want to show you my beautiful Christmas socks, and yeah, they're in one of my favorite bags because who doesn't love the Grinch, right? But also this vintage fabric is just so divine. I think I found that in a thrift store, no, an antique shop in Las Vegas, New Mexico. And if you did not know, maybe you live far, far away. Yes, there is a Las Vegas, New Mexico. And my husband and my daughter have just been at the Party City, Las Vegas, for a few days. Yeah, they met up there. My daughter flew in there. My husband drove there. And so I'm stuck at home because we are only using one car right now because our daughter has his car. That's a lot of information that you probably don't care at all about, but whatever, I'm just gonna throw that at you. But just so you know, so they're there and they're currently on the way back home. So for me, that means get shit done. Oops, I said it, sorry. Get it done before they're back, because this house is covered in yarn, and I mean that. Yes, over there, a sofa that seats a lot of people, there's yarn everywhere. There's bins with yarn that I brought in from the garage, dining room, another bin of mohair on the table, pulled out UFOs in bins. Yes, everywhere. And like I said, you will find out more about that. But back to this beautiful Grinchy project, which is actually an elf project, because this yarn, this beautiful colorway, is a Christmas yarn that was dyed after, inspired by the Christmas movie Buddy the Elf. And I am indeed done with my first sock. I can't believe it, because I had socks with 2.5 millimeter needles, not happening much here anymore. But these, I just really like my Christmas socks. So I thought, I gotta tackle these guys and get them hopefully done, which is not gonna happen, but maybe after Christmas I can continue to work on these so I have them next year. And here is my second sock, because I usually, what I do is I finish one and then I immediately cast on the next one, because that's the easy part, the casting on. Yeah. So I'll keep plucking along, and in case you wonder what that is, I usually do that for my own sake. I put a little reference I hang that on the project, where I write down how many rows for the rounds for the ribbing, what I cast on in this case. That's always the same, 4 times 16 stitches per needle. But my leg section, that varies, and this time around I made the leg a little bit longer, and stuff like that. I write down there. Next, I may have told you that I'm not making any Christmas presents. Not true. I'm just the last minute person. I'm the worst. So first of all, horrible procrastination. My husband, that's what he wants for Christmas. He wants photo albums. He wants the kind that you do online and then you have them printed. I could do that right after a vacation, but do I do it? No, I don't. So it's usually come December, a horrible frenzy of making photo albums. I'm done with his, but the really crazy one this year was an album about my visit in Paris and Italy with our daughter, when I visited her there, and because she spent a semester abroad, in case you knew and you don't know about that. So that was a lot of photos. And she's like, I really would like you to make me an album. That was the tough one. And the tough one I saved for last. So it's probably, maybe, most likely gonna arrive after Christmas, but that's okay, because I'm really glad I got it done. Imagine starting off with 1,050 photos. That's a true challenge, but I got it done. Okay, so that is done. So that was my focus. And then you need to know, I knit in the evenings. I do not knit during the daytime. Rarely, with very rare exceptions. Yeah. So, but since I also, after I was done with the albums, I had this idea of making socks for my family. So I started something very, very new, and I am super much in love with it. I think it's really, I have never seen this in America, but this is commercial DK weight sock yarn, which is, I have a whole bin of leftovers from my mother. And this, for example, this, or this. So some are fun, some are boring. This one is almost a full ball. A lot of times these come as 150 gram balls. So all of a sudden it hit me. This has to happen fast and furious. And so I am holding this double. And I figured it out, I use for a size 40, what is that, US size 9 or so women's. I use about 50 grams of that sock yarn per color, 2 strands held together. There you go. Now you know why it's fast and furious. Here is my first pair that I got done, and I'm not worried at all that I'm gonna get quite a bit more done. Same thing, my little information tag, and yeah, I can use leftovers. In this case, I used 3 different colors, I think 3 or 4, and I am using these big babies, 5 millimeter needles. Chagu, love these guys. Very pointy and nice, and they work very well for this. And yes, you're gonna say, what? You're gonna get a lot done before Christmas? It's almost Christmas. Yes, it is. For me, it's the 23rd. And this is the first sock for my daughter. And this is her second sock. And I will whip out a pair for my son, and hopefully also for his girlfriend. So this is for my son, and hold on, I didn't even show you the yarn that I'm using for Fiona's. And I'm on the second color of this. They were very similar. And where did it change? Oh, whatever, doesn't matter because it's just blending. And then for my son's girlfriend, I was thinking I'm going to use these. She does like pink, but I don't really have anything pink, so I'm thinking this. And I really loved this, and this is already split into 2 parts, so almost the same weight in each ball. And so I know this is going to be enough for me, and I'm going to do mine very short. I'm probably going to do just the ribbing and maybe then 3 more rounds, and then I'm going to before I start the foot. So that is that fun stuff pre-Christmas, whip it out last minute as we do kind of stuff. And then I was also motivated to continue knitting on the dress for my goddaughter, which I will not show you much of because I, so that UFO make along, it's really all in the mind. You decide what's a UFO. And maybe this, you're going to say, this is a work in progress. That's not a UFO. But for me, it's kind of a UFO because I've been knitting on this forever. So it's got to be done. So it's going to be entered into the UFO mania. And so I've continued knitting a little bit more on this, but I'm just not going to go into detail. I'll just show you the yarn that I did not find last time. So that's my additional skein that I purchased. Really lovely silk wool blend. And the pattern I made up and the contrasting color, you're gonna say, hey, that looks like a hand dyed. Yes, it is. I over dyed a white undyed skein of that yarn. Yep. It will be tackled very, very soon. And then, oh my goodness, did you hear that? I put out a lot of bird food, and sometimes when they get spooked, there's a Cooper's hawk that actually really goes for the birds sometimes, and then they get spooked and sometimes they bang into our windows, unfortunately. Hold on 1 second. I am so excited about everything that I'm working on, and when I'm excited, I get warmer and warmer, and this is a very warm sweater. So since I'm sitting by our sliding door, I just opened the door and it's lovely, and I'm getting this cool breeze. Yeah, it's about maybe 7 degrees Celsius today, but it was raining all morning, and I am happy for the desert with all this moisture. We need it always. Okay, so you saw the dress to be for my goddaughter, and then I started something which, this is a bit of a what am I going to do kind of project, because I wanted to make mittens for a friend who loves mittens. And this was, yeah, I want to tackle the UFOs, all kinds of UFOs, but then I have this idea and I bring in all the hand spun. Yes, that's the way we roll in this house. You may have been wondering, why does she have her yarn covered in her house, covered in yarn when her husband is gone? Now you know why, because I have these ideas. And so I started these mittens, and it's kind of funny because the yarn is very firm. This is hand spun, and I am holding two thinner ones together, so I'm making very warm mittens. And I'm making it up, and I don't know how it is for you, but for me, mittens have to be cute, even grown-up mittens. They have to be round, so the hand and the fingers can move inside, and they have to be round with a little thumb. I don't know. So this is not just finishing the Duke City mitts and adding the top to it, but it's really like a very different concept. And yeah, but I am just not sure if I like the yarn for this. I don't know, but I would love to use this. You know, look at it. I made myself a little basket. Sorry. Now you can see it better. So pretty. And I have all kinds of yarns hand spun that I pulled out where I just wanted to see how I can combine them and what I can combine. Yeah, I'll see. Sometimes you start, you're excited, then you're like, is this really going to work out? But then you look at it again and you're like, yeah, I think it looks great. So there we go. Let's keep going for now. But first, the socks. And another one of my current favorite projects, which reminds me, I forgot the fluffy shawl on the sofa. I'm gonna have to get that in a second. So, I love this. I just love it. It's so amazing. Such a great project. And I have continued. I've knitted in a few more yarns and I'm just loving how colorful it's becoming. And I have, see, even the paler and then the high contrast, stronger colors. It's when you look at it in the flow of colors, it's just all really nice. Yeah. So this is what I'm using right now, hand spun. As far as I know, this was, oh yeah, I spun this in June. It's a small amount of New Mexico Rambouillet that I still had. Don't have that anymore. And then, of course, as you may guess, I have spun some more yarns. Actually, I thought that one was the last Rambouillet, but I found more. And well, that's interesting. So I probably dyed these close together because there are similar colors in there. So I have this one that I spun, and I have spun these very, very finely because the shawl is supposed to be lightweight. And I also spun this. I'm just going through my bin of that's marked mine to spin and grab whatever I want, and I get out a small amount. And yeah, love spinning small amounts, and I love this project altogether. And if you, I don't know if you see my spinning wheel. Oh yeah, it's right there by the fireplace. So sometimes I spin when I watch TV, sometimes I just sit and face the mountains here, the big windows, and do an audiobook. And right now, what I'm spinning, I brought to you the second half of this amount. I made some bats, which I had considered spinning them into a bit of a heavier yarn for fingerless mitts, and that never happened. And so now I'm thinking, okay, I can do whatever I want. So right now I am turning this into more yarn for the outline. And I have an electric drum carder, and I have, so I have just kept these as in a bat. And then what I do is I pull off strips and I throw on the drum whatever I feel like. And wow, just have this idea. I don't know if you watch Kia of the Kiaspot podcast she's in Sweden, and she's a very, very prolific spinner, and she has done an advent swap with friends for Rolex. I don't know a lot of spinners, and I don't know any spinners here who would do Rolex or who also kind of like are really into dyeing. But if you say, hey, that is something that I do and I love to do, and I would love to do that with you next year, wouldn't that be a fun thing? Shoot me an email, ziawolves@comcast.net, and I will start a list of people, and we can do that in time before Christmas. I know there's my friend Sherry out there who makes beautiful bats. I'm sure you're interested, and I bet there's more folks who watch that I don't know about. I have a German friend in California, but I don't know if you dye or do any kind of combing or so. Yeah. And if you have not watched Kia ever, if you're a spinner, anyways, she's so sweet and lovely to watch, but I would really recommend to watch her for inspiration with spinning and what to make out of your spinning fibers too. I know I have another friend, my friend Marina in, I said Marina, even though, do you pronounce your name like that? It's my son's girlfriend's name is the same, and it's definitely pronounced the Hispanic way, but Marina, I don't know how you probably say Marina in New Zealand, who has the Strawberry Patches podcast, also like a crazy amazing spinner, who makes these beautiful knitted toys. I just watched her episode. If you don't know her, you should check her out. But Marina, I wish she was closer. I bet she'd be in an advent swap, but that's just, I think it would get too pricey to ship something overseas. Shipping prices are getting insane. Yeah. Oh my goodness. The cat pulled a thread on my outline shawl. Oh, good, not bad. Okay. All right, so you know where this is. Send me an email if you're interested in a swap of spinning fibers for an advent for 2024. That would be such a fun thing to do. And this brings me right away to my sad project, my sad story of the hand spun yarn sweater, the green sweater. Oh my gosh. So, you know that I wanted to make a sweater out of this yarn. Let me show you the yarn. This. Beautiful. I know, it's gorgeous. Yes. If you like green, you're gonna love this. Yes. And it's quite finely spun, and it's from the Barefoot Spinner. That's where I got the fibers, and then it was all kind of like beige natural browns and stuff, and so I dyed it after spinning. And when we were traveling, my husband drives, so I can knit, and I was actually doing the math for this sweater. And I started, and I kind of swatched. Yeah, I did swatch. I'm pretty sure I swatched. But then I thought, wow, this is not working out. I have to I have to start over. So I corrected my math, started over, and I remember I'm telling you last time that this is kind of like this generous neckline because the yarn is a little bit scratchy, and so I'm like, I kept knitting and I'm thinking, this neckline is huge. I don't want it that big. And the other thing was, do I really need 3mm needles? So I finally, I thought, okay, let's just do this. Let's do a generous swatch spinning fibers with a larger swatch with a larger needle. So this is 3.5mm. And yes, you can kind of see my face through the knitting. I don't like that. So even though I wish I could use 3.5mm needles, I'm just not gonna do it. So I'm gonna stick with the 3mm. But, excuse me, too much fluff. I thought, okay, but I was just really not sure that this was gonna work out with what I had at that point. So I put what I had already knitted, and it's growing very, very slowly with the 3mm needles. And I thought, I'm thinking of one of the women who was at the Ghost Ranch retreat. She is just popping out one sweater after the other. I just saw a new one that where she's done with the body, and I'm like, I want to knit sweaters, and it's just really not working out. But whatever, it's gonna be all good. Oh, let's not forget my local friend Therese. Hi Therese, Merry Christmas. Well, she's monogamous. That's why. She's doing it and I'm not. Okay, now back to my sweater. So I put it on different needles. I squished it in water, put it on like DPNs, DPN, and did some blocking stuff. And I mean, you can see already, this is not working out. Okay, let's turn it this way. This is way, I don't want a huge ribbing to make up for this. So not gonna happen. Yeah, there you go. All right, see. So what I did then is I pulled out my, okay, here for reference, this would even fall off my shoulders. So what I did was I then pulled out my my Angora sweater, the one where I held Angora with sock yarn, and because that fits me very well, and I took those measurements, I redid my math, and I just kept this so you could see what my status is and that I have been working on this. It's just one thing after the other, but I will do this because I really think this is going to be fabulous. Yeah. So that is that project. And then, hold on one second. Okay, I had to turn on some lights because I felt like it's getting darker and darker. So hopefully this helped. And I had to close my door too. It's only open a little bit. It was wide open before. So what else? I showed you the sweater. Something that I brought that I really wanted to show you is some of our favorite Christmas books just in case you have little ones and you need some inspiration. This is Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree. It's a book about this guy who buys a tree and it doesn't fit into his house, and so they clip it so it doesn't hit the ceiling, and they toss out the tip of the tree, and it gets passed along to different people, and it's written in rhyme form, and yeah, the last recipient of the last little itty bitty tip of the tree is a mouse. Love it. Love that book. Kids love it. By chance, I ran into Russell's Christmas Magic. Another awesome one because, hey, every book that has a sheep as the main character is amazing. Yes. Oh my gosh, I bought this at Borders. I loved Borders. Did you also love Borders? We had one here. I love that place. I miss them. This is another one that I just found. I love it. Shall I knit you a hat? And this is the story of a bunny mama. Oh, it's also from Borders. So funny. Of a mama who makes a hat because there's a blizzard coming. And so she makes a hat for her son, for her rabbit son. And then, and she, of course, it fits perfectly with the long ears, tailor-made, but then she makes hats for all the animals because it's Christmas and because a blizzard is coming. Last one I want to show you is a book that is illustrated by my favorite illustrator, Lisbeth Zwerger. I believe that she's of some European descent. I am just not sure. That's why I'm pronouncing her name. I mean, I'm pronouncing it European way, but I just love her illustrations. And one of our favorite stories that is the little, the Little Match Girl is just one of our favorite Christmas stories. And let me see if I have a picture. Yes. And this is such a sad story. I have never been able to read this story really without crying. I always cry. So it's usually my husband who cries. But now with this story, it's a Hans Christian Andersen storybook, which I didn't even tell you. Andersen's Fairy Tales, illustrated by Lisbeth Zwerger. And so this story it's just so beautiful and sad and happy at the same time. But and the other good memory that I have for this is, you need to know, my husband doesn't speak any German. He gets around when he travels by himself. He knows how to ask for a hotel, if they have a room available, where the train station is, travel stuff like that, but otherwise, no. But my mother always asked for Christmas for Wyatt to translate this story for her into German. And this, in the last years, became a Christmas tradition for Christmas Eve. My mother would translate, my husband would translate and kind of read, whatever you want to say, kind of read the Little Match Girl for my mother. We were, of course, nobody cried. We would fall over laughing. It was always hilarious. Such good memories. Yeah. And look up that illustrator if you don't know her, if you like that style. I don't even know what to call it. Kind of like Let me look for a picture for you. It's so fairy tale-ish. Yeah, I have a few books that are illustrated by her. She's just an amazing artist. So that is that. And now, last but certainly not least, I would finally draw the winners for the Duke Mania 2023. That was a knit along for my free knitting pattern for the fingerless mitts, the Duke City mitts. And I have finally decided what I want to give away. Sorry, I never told you if you participated. And I thought I'd give you all time until the beginning of December, which now turned into almost Christmas, to enter your Duke City mitts in the Ziawul's thread, the group chat on Ravelry. And I got a few more entries. So hopefully it was worth it for you. And here is, I decided I'm going to do two winners. One of you guys who participated is going to get this cool Route 66 bag. It's a sock, it works for a sock project. And because Duke City Mitts is the reference for the Duke City, Albuquerque. And so here you have a fabric that has the New Mexico on it. And now I gotta dive down for the yarn. This is one of my yarns, my hand-dyed yarns, my DK base. And I think this is the yarn that or a similar one that I used for my Desert Dancer hat and combined it with a solid color. And this colorway is called My Precious. So I'm going to give away the two things separately. And I have to get my iPad and get into Ravelry, and then we will draw the winners. And if you have participated in this, in the knit along, I did want to say, and if you left a comment on Ravelry, I just wanted to say that toward the end, there were a lot of entries. So I did not comment on every single one because it's going to mess up the drawing of the winner. If there's a lot of comments that I made, then hopefully we'll get to sorry, I had to log in. Hopefully this is going to be quicker this way. If you are a winner, please send me a personal message on Ravelry and yes, send me a personal message on Ravelry, and then where is it? Oh, darn. Finding this stuff is hard sometimes. And then, of course, I'm going to need your address to send you your win. Okay, so we have... Now, this is the last one. That was mine. So... oh, good. That's a good number to remember. Number 77 is my podcasting friend in Germany, Anja. So that's going to be easy to remember. She made hers. I mean, look at that. Look at the photos there. Just go to the Ziawul's thread and look at all the beautiful things that folks made. It's just gorgeous. So many creative people out there. Just lovely. All right, so we're starting with number 2 and going to number 77. Siri, pick a random number between 2 and 77.
It's 68.
68. Let's see who that is. '68 is Moni 8365. Moni, du hast diese Projekttasche gewonnen und mal gucken, ich vermute mal sehr, dass du Monika heißt, so ist es. Ja, sei so gut, melde dich bei mir und dann schicke ich dir deine Projekttasche zu und ich hoffe, du freust dich. Oh, ich habe noch gar nicht gezeigt, wie die innen drin aussieht. Ah, bunte Blumen, mache ich immer so. Immer anders, ja. Ich hoffe, die gefällt dir. Und eins noch, Monika, du hast also eine Projekttasche gewonnen, aber wenn du lieber eine Weihnachtsprojekttasche möchtest, dann in der Nachricht darfst du mir das schreiben und dann suche ich dir sonst eine von den Weihnachtsprojekttaschen aus. So, das war also der eine Gewinn. Und dann Siri, pick a random number between 2 and 77.
It's 43.
It's 43. Habt ihr das gehört? Have you heard this? Sorry, I just switched to German because I'm reading a lot of messages in German, and that's why. So 43 would be, come on, okay. 43, oh, I should have shown you the other mitts. These beautiful mitts. See, that's what I meant. People have been so creative. They gave it their own spin. And the Ravelry name is Karfarbe. Und her name is Karin. Yes. So Karin, get in touch with me and sorry. Guess what I just did? I just saw something. Karin made a sleeveless vest and I just saw this, what she did, and then I clicked on the pattern because it's so cute. And I thought, oh my gosh, wait, give me a second. I'm gonna tap on it. Isn't that adorable? So Karin also made this sleeveless vest, and isn't it cool? But I don't think you can get it through Ravelry. Well, okay. All right, so Karin and Monika, send me a message. Karin, you won this. You're probably going to watch the German podcast. Yes. Congratulations to both of you, and thank you to you and everybody who participated in the knit along. This was really fun, and I loved having some company while I whipped out a lot of Duke City mitts again. All right, and now we have come to the end of this episode. I will do the separate episode where I show you my UFOs that I am considering entering into the UFO Mania 2024 with, but that would be a little bit too much today. So I wish you all very happy holidays again, and you take care and happy knitting.